Listen, even if you're still kind of looking through your photographs and trying to figure it all out, that's okay. You're going to have a couple more minutes, but I want everybody to look right up here for a minute. First things first, your portfolios collectively, I think, was one of the strongest collection of portfolios that I've got in the history of me teaching photography. So you should pat yourself on the back. I think generally speaking, we did really well. I think it's a nice display of your work and what it is that we're trying to achieve in here. I saw a lot of exploration and composition, and moreover, and playing around with camera settings and stuff like that, which I thought was cool. Generally speaking, we did great. If you have specific comments about any aspect of your portfolio, undoubtedly ask me. We can have a one-on-one. If you want to know why did I earn the grade that I've got or something like that, let me know. But what you're going to find is this. Try it right up here. You're going to find 2 sticky notes. Everyone will have 2 sticky notes. So I commit to that. I really commit to that. If you don't, then I've made a mistake. You should let me know, and I'll want your whole portfolio back at the end of the hour, and then I'll give it back to you tomorrow so that I can make sure I do that. But I'm pretty consistent. The 2 sticky notes is what I call, put your eyes right on me, please. The 2 sticky notes is what I call the rose and the thorn. Now, immediately when I say that, you start thinking positive and negative, and it's not that clear, because here's the difference. I've had a portfolio where in the past, not in this class, but in the past I've had a portfolio where the student put no effort into it. The student at the last minute just grabbed whatever they could find, threw it together, and then handed it to me and called it a portfolio. It wasn't something that the student worked on. So collectively, there were a lot of flaws in it, to be honest. It wasn't given as much attention as you gave your portfolio. That student got a rose, in this case will be the blue, and a thorn, in this case orange. I don't know why I associated. This looks more like a thorn to me than this. I don't know why. But this is the rose. This is the thorn. I'm going to pause. Make sure the person sitting next to you understands which one is the rose and the thorn. Go.
Together we make
All right, put your eyes right back on me, please. So look, and then there were other portfolios. I just gave you one example of a student who didn't work on the portfolio, and then there were other examples where I turned the page, on many of your portfolios, I turned the page, and I couldn't really find one that I was, there were several portfolios, I was scared to label anything a thorn, because everything looked really good. I thought it was a nice representation of what you've been doing, but I still do that. So really what you've got to kind of approach it is the way that I'm going to ask you to approach each other's work. Mr. Olson's favorite, the one that he thinks is one of the strongest, and Mr. Olson's least favorite, the one that he thinks works the least. Skylar Olson, I know that I'm going to pick on you, sorry to put you on the spot, but when I was thumbing through Skylar's, I really struggled because I thought that most of her photographs were really, really strong, and I couldn't find one thorn. And I don't know if I made a note to you or not, but you should know that, Skylar. So when I was looking through it, I was like, I was really struggling. I was going back and forth between a couple of photos, and then ultimately I just picked one. Because it was, I think I did make a note of this, that it was more common. One photograph I've seen other people do a little bit more often than most of what she did, and I thought because of that, maybe I'll label that one the thorn, but it's not really a thorn. Not if you're with me. You with me? Does that make sense? Okay. So I want you to understand that. It's a good way for me to give kind of collective feedback so that we're on the same page. Put your eyes right up here, just follow my finger. You look at your learning goal, it's kind of confusing initially, but I want you to try to think about this for a minute. I want you to think critically today about each other's work, and I'm going to come back to how we do that, but I want you to think critically, artistically, and technically. You can take those things, those are the areas of photography that we really address in here. We address composition and creativity, and then technical aspects like the quality of the photograph, the arrangement of things, the lighting in photograph. Well, when we start talking about photography and how to assess it, how to evaluate it, it gets really heavy-handed, as you know. So we've got to start figuring out what it is that we think are the roses out there and what aren't. Today, you're focusing specifically on roses. You've got a sheet of paper that I hope, look at me please, sheet of paper like this that I hope is in about 21 pieces. If you're missing a piece, in the end you go, okay, I don't really have 21, or I need 2 more, something like that, just find 2 more. But here's the game. You need to make sure that you're really ethical and honest about the way you approach this, or it doesn't work. What I'd like you to do is this. Take about 30 to 60 seconds. I want you to take the 5 photographs I talked about a few minutes ago and make sure they're arranged on your desk so that everybody can see them. Parker, like this, for instance. Arranged on your desk so that people can see it. Listen. Oh, is there any way to take it off or not? Then you're going to have to improvise a little bit. Take the strongest out of them. If you can't take them off, and I can appreciate that, then I didn't think about that. If you can't take them off neatly, then okay, if you can, do it. If you can't, then pick the strongest of them. Then you're forced to be five. But get them arranged. Really, my goal is to get you to take the 10 that I required and then shrink it down to 5 so that it's simplified a little bit. So look, you've got the 5 of them arranged, and you've got all of your votes right here. What your goal is today, for the first, I don't know, many minutes here, so it's going to take a few minutes, is this. What I'm going to ask you to do is to walk around, look at everybody else's photographs through this lens. Put your eyes right on me, please. I want you to look at it through this lens. What do you think, out of the 5 that are represented on each table, what do you think are the most artistic and technically most successful photographs on the table? And you're going to vote for one. So for instance, I'm going to walk, if I was a student here, I'm going to walk over to Luke's table, and I'm going to look at his 5, and I'm going to look at it through the lens of what I think is technically the best in photography and artistically the best. And then I'm going to choose one, and I'm going to take one piece of paper, and I'm going to vote for it. Try to vote off of the image itself. So I'd look at these, and I'd go like that, and I set the piece of paper on. So ultimately, when you're done, you're going to get however many people are in here. There's like 24 of us right now. You're going to get that many votes on your images. Each one of them, actually there's 21 excluding advanced photography because they're not doing this. So you're going to get 21 votes. I'm going to pause. Check with the person sitting next to you. Make sure they understand, he or she understands what it is I'm asking you to do here, how it is that you're going to vote. And raise your hand like this if you hear someone's confused or if you have questions. Hey, raise your hand if you heard some confusion and you have a question about it. One warning. Put your eyes right on me. We're looking at what we think works the best. So we're going to focus on that and not the opposite of that. Look, in this world, just to get on a soapbox just for a minute, in this world, we take visual representations of things and we hold them up and we display them, and thereby making ourselves really vulnerable. Put your eyes on me. I want to make sure you get this. In an English class, if we type a paper, we usually hand it to the teacher and then they grade it and then hand it back. That's how it works. So you don't put yourself out there as much. Because this is like this world of creativity and visual world, we put ourselves on display more often, and it makes us more vulnerable. So you've got to be really conscientious about that with one another, as you know. Go like this if you're with me. You with me? Okay. Everybody grab your piece of paper and stand up, please. Push in your chair, ladies and gentlemen. When I say go, you hear the music, reflect more than others, we just,